Let's get this going.
Let's go, baby.
Let's start off with who we are. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go? Me? All right.
You go first.
Hey, everyone. My name is Commanderfrost. This is going to be the first ever Icebox podcast. I'm joined with my good friend Save.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
I'm Save, streamer on YouTube and Facebook Gaming. Luckily, I was able to be on the first episode of Icebox podcast, and I'm very, very happy to be here.
I'm very happy to have you here. So we decided that our first podcast is going to be about, up until recently, it was both of our favorite movies ever made. And that is Jaws. We'll go into details of our first experiences watching the movie, what we thought about it overall, how we feel about sequels, possibilities of how we felt about maybe a reboot in the future, and we'll just kind of go on from there. Maybe we'll talk about our favorite cast, some of our favorite scenes. We can go on and on about Jaws. So.
Yes, we absolutely can, because it still holds up as you know, definitely top 5 movies for me of all time.
I would agree with that.
Which is a lot, because that movie is old as hell.
1975, I'm pretty sure.
Is it that old?
It's that old. It's a 70s movie, which I do plan to do another podcast with Save, Rebecca, and Adewale about just movies from the 70s in general. Because there's a lot of movies that came out in the 70s that I'm like, actually really good. Hey, Tristan. Yep, this is a podcast. This is my first ever podcast series I'm going to start doing. This is going to be on my Streamlabs, and this will also appear on the YouTube side as well. So that's going to be pretty fun.
It would be very fun.
Hopefully. Let me pull that one up instead. Okay. Hi, Frost Bunny. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, today we're talking about Jaws, guys. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, I don't know why you haven't. It's been out for
40 years.
Oh my God.
Almost?
80, 90, 40?
Almost 40.
40, 50? Ridiculous. It's been out for a long time. You should have seen Jaws by now, I feel like, if you were going to watch it. But yeah, we're talking about Jaws today. And then, like I was saying earlier, Save, I want to do a podcast on movies that came out in the 70s, because there was so many movies that came out. I mean, there's movies that come out in every decade. Like, if you go back and look at the movies that came out in the 70s, like, this is an amazing collection. Well, like, we were looking at it the other day.
I'm big on, like, super old movies, like, and I'm a musical guy, too. I don't know if you've...
I'm not too sure how I feel about musicals. So, like, the old
musicals, like West Side Story. West Side Story is, like, top 5 movies for me as well. Sound of Music, Grease, like those. But you know, you gotta understand, man, I look very brown on the outside, but my mother is very white, and she grew up in Philly, so you know, like, that's the movies that I grew up on watching. Like I said, my mom is the reason that I watched Jaws, and it's because she was like, this movie scared me when I was a kid. Like, I remember paying $1 to go into the theater and watch it, and before I watched the movie, she was like, there was like a shark that jumped out of the water like 50 feet in the air, and it made everybody jump in the theater. And I still, to this day, I don't know what part she was talking about on that part, but I'm assuming it was the part where the shark jumps up on the boat and eats Quinn. But you know, she just over exaggerated the movie. So of course, when we were kids,
so when you going into it, you're like, oh my God, this is gonna be like the most terrifying movie ever. It's actually considered a horror movie in some. Like, some people consider it a horror movie. Yeah. I don't consider it a horror movie, personally.
Do you consider it a comedy?
Some people consider that, too. I consider it a thriller.
Yeah, definitely
It's definitely not a shark movie, in my opinion.
No, definitely a thriller.
But I would definitely say a thriller. It's a great show. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn off I just realized I have certain channel points on that I don't want to be on for this podcast, because I kind of want this to kind of be...
Seamless.
Streamline. Like, I don't want debated playing. I don't want... I just don't want certain things to come up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Freddie, thank you for the like. Appreciate that, brother.
I also don't want to eat a sour candy on a podcast.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
No,
but, you know, and that's the thing about that movie,
What's up,
right?
CJ?
Is you've created... That movie created... like a fear for everybody that ever watched it. They reconsidered going into the ocean for a very, very long time, or maybe even a short time.
Hold up. I'm getting, apparently people can't hear you, so I'm gonna fix that.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
We don't have Save Wonder coming through.
You might have to do...
No one can hear him. I wish you guys had said something sooner, but I am fixing it now.
you might have to do window capture instead of screen capture.
No, I got it. You're good.
Did you?
I didn't. Okay. So I didn't have a setting for Discord yet, and that was the issue. But we're good now. Give me a mic check.
Mic check. Yo.
Met you last night on Poison Rainbow stream. Yes, you did meet me last night on the Poison Rainbow stream.
Scared to get into your pool. That's funny. Yeah, Freddie said he was scared to get in this pool after. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, Jaws...
We're good now, chat? Okay.
Jaws was that movie that... You know, there really hasn't been a movie of our time, because we're, like, the same age. So there hasn't really been a movie of our time where it really made people reconsider what they were doing prior to doing it. Where, like, that movie was like... Oh, you want to go fishing? Oh, you want to be a surfer? Oh, you want to, you know, even be in the shallow water and let your kids... play around on floaties, like, nah, you're not safe anywhere.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like that's why that movie was so great, because it created fear, like, all across the world with anybody who's ever watched that movie.
So I recently rewatched the movie, guys, and I thought it was great, because I wanted to refresh on the movie before we did this podcast series, and you're absolutely right. It's one of those movies that when you watch it the first time, you're like, I don't know if I want to go back into the water. And for me personally, who's never been to like Florida or something,
1975,
I still don't want to go in the water. Just, I don't know if it's mainly for that movie alone, but it's for like a bunch of just water movies in general anyway. I'm like, yeah. And that's exactly about the water in general. Like, if I can't see what's under me, I don't want nothing to do with it.
See, it was an out of sight, out of mind thing for me, because I was obviously living in San Diego. We surf, so I surfed when I was younger, and we never really had, like, I never really had any issues with seeing things while I was out surfing. Like, we would see like dolphins and stuff every now and then.
That would be cool.
But we knew they were dolphins, you know. But I remember, like, paddling out one time and I saw this big black blob underneath me, and I was like, holy shit. And I started paddling back to the shore, and
like, nope, I'm done.
And then I realized it was a stingray, and after that day I never surfed again. Like, I've never surfed. I was probably 15, 16. So it's been 15 years.
You were 15, 16? Okay.
Yeah. So it's been 15 years since I've been back in the ocean. But I'm a big fisher, so we go out ocean fishing, or we used to go out ocean fishing all the time. But yeah, after that day, I was never a surfer. Rico said you used to surf. Come on, man.
Surfing is a lot of fun. Like, it can be, like, I've dabbled with it a little bit.
Yeah.
That'll be a whole other thing. But I wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Let's just end it with that. Not very good.
We were like ghetto surfers, you know. We didn't have like wetsuits or anything, and it would suck because, like, you put wax on the board, so my nipples would get all fucking hot, like raw from paddling. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yep.
It was bad. But yeah, as far like you mentioned cast, and I feel like that cast was like really good. You know, like Richard Dreyfuss' character was
yes.
There was so much of a story arc with him, right? Like, it was like he's this guy who studies these animals for so long, and he's very knowledgeable, right? And I'll never forget that scene when he's like, that's not the shark that's not the shark. Like, I know that's not the shark.
Right, yeah.
They go
and
in.
Like, nobody believes him.
Yeah, they go in, they cut this shark open. And, you know, that scene alone, like, he did such a good job in making it seem so realistic because, you know, he's like gutting this shark and he's like, oh, the smell. And then you can tell that, you know, shark is not, like, a shark's skin is not easily penetrable and easy to cut across because he's like working it. And then he like.
You think it has like a leathery texture to it? So it's like you're trying to cut into leather?
Yeah, and it's thick, right? Like thick rubber too,
yeah,
you know? And
thick rubber.
And then after that, he kind of like sits back and he's like exhausted, and I was like, this acting is so fucking good. I enjoy
It holds up to this day. It is still a great movie. I don't care what anyone says. I can go back and watch Jaws, and be fully entertained.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And like I was saying,
And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's because of Jaws. Why, like you said earlier, the reason why Jurassic Park is so good is because we had Jaws. Like, you were able to get the there's not hardly any CGI in that stuff because it was all I don't think there's any CGI actually.
In Jaws, there's not.
It's all what is the wording?
Animatronics, robotics,
animatronics.
Yeah.
It's puppeteering, which I've always been a fan of. You can make a puppet look real than you can a CGI. Or at least back then you could. I mean, CGI has come a long way now.
Yeah, especially in the last 40 years, right?
Yeah. In the last 40 years, it's come a long way. But back in the 70s, that's what we had. And it looked... I still think the shark looks good. I mean, there's scenes where it looks terrible. But there are other scenes where, like, that looks really good.
Yeah. Yeah, well... Is it that looks really good for the time frame, or that looks really good, like, still today?
I don't think it looks bad. I mean... Sometimes the teeth look terrible,
Yeah,
they look like they're just kind of flopping around. But I still love the movie, and I'm a big shark movie kind of guy anyway. Not that I consider Jaws a major shark movie, but I've been known to sit down and watch just really bad shark movies. An example would be Two-Headed Shark Attack.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Sand Sharks.
Yeah, like what about like the Meg?
The Meg, I loved The Meg. I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't like top tier, but it was still a pretty good movie.
Yeah, so that's
like if you were gonna rank all the bad shark movies, Meg takes number one.
Really? Over Sharknado's
terrible.
See,
Sharknado is not good. It's overrated.
I'm not a big shark movie fan, and that's why like I think that making a remake of this movie would be horrible right now. Like I think because of how well the movie did in its time, like it should just stay that movie because of that. But that's the thing, right? Is like Steven Spielberg movies I do not think should be ever recreated. Like E.T. should never be recreated. Jurassic Park should never be recreated. That's
But we got Jurassic World.
Yeah, but he still has his fingers in on that. You know what I mean? Yo, Jordan, thank you for the like. Thank you for the 100, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't mind a continuation, but it has to be done right. I personally like the Jurassic World series. Not everybody does, but I like it. There are scenes in Jurassic World that I don't care for. There are definitely creative decisions that I don't agree with.
The pink eye wink, for sure, 100%.
Spoilers if you haven't seen Jurassic World 2. I think it's World. I don't know what it's called, but where the little girl's a clone, or whatever. Was really fucking stupid.
It's horrible. So, okay, so let's touch on Jurassic World real fast because Jurassic Park, top 5 for me. I
agree.
And that when they
World or Park?
Park.
Jurassic Park. Okay.
The OG. Yep. So when I found out that they were coming out with Jurassic World, I probably found out like 2, maybe 3 years prior that they were working on the film, and I was like, hell yes. This is so exciting to me because we actually get to see the park that we all dreamed as kids, how it would actually work and function. And they're going to make it like real time, like what it would be like today for Jurassic Park to actually be a park. And I was super, super excited about it. And I was actually happy with how the first one came out, Jurassic World, the first one. But when they did the second one, I was very, very disappointed in it. And this new one that's about to come out, I saw the trailer. I got hyped for the trailer. I watched the trailer, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I feel like when you stretch too far and put, like, if they would have just made Jurassic World and ended it there, I would have been fine. But I feel like putting the dinosaurs out into the world, I mean, you already did that. You did that in Jurassic Park 2. The dinosaurs were running around San Diego,
wasn't it just a Tyrannosaurus Rex that was running around San Diego? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was just a T-Rex, but I mean, you already had the dinosaur out in the world. Like, why do we have to do that again? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. That's kind of like where I'm at with that. Like, why are we doing this again? why? Like, I get it. You could make it a little bit better and show what the world would be like with dinosaurs running around. But it's like, we kind of already know what it would be like. You know what I mean?
I'll agree with you to some extent. So my issue, like, I love Jurassic World, great movie. Jurassic World 2 was fine up until you get to that reveal that the little girl's a clone.
Yeah.
That was stupid. If they had kept that part, that B plot, C plot, whatever plot it was, out of the movie, I think it would have been fine. Because it makes sense. Like, of course, if the dinosaurs were real, people would want to go and grab dinosaurs and own them for themselves. Like, I'm so rich, I own a Velociraptor. Oh, that's cool. I'm so rich, I own a fucking T-Rex. Eat my dick.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, fuck off. Like, you can't tell me that there aren't celebrities that would do that.
No,
celebrities. You mean to tell me Elon Musk want to own a T-Rex if he could?
For sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, he would definitely own a T-Rex if he could. Like, I could definitely see people going to auctions like this and buying and bidding for dinosaurs. I'm like, okay, I'm for that. But there were scenes throughout the movie that I just didn't care for, and the reveal of the girl being a clone was definitely one of them. The next one, I'm a little... I don't know yet. I've seen the trailer. I like the cast. Still, the cast is still fine. I like that we're bringing back some of the original characters. I wish that the kids from the original Jurassic Park movie were in it. But I guess a lot of them don't act anymore. I completely understand that. Hollywood's a whole other thing. People that get into Hollywood are built different. And the way Hollywood has treated kids throughout years has not been great.
Facts. So, okay. So speaking on the Jurassic Park and World franchise and the sequels that came along with that. Now, with Jaws 2 and 3, there was only 2 and 3, right?
2, 3.
No, there was 4.
I think there's 4.
Yeah.
There is 4 because Jaws 2 is Jaws Revenge, I think, or something like that. Or maybe it's Jaws.
Yeah, because it deals with Brady's
Jaws
son.
3D. Yeah. Yes. Jaws 2 is... No, Jaws 2 is still Brody.
Brody's son,
because his kid,
right?
Yeah, his kids are older. Like, they go out... they end up getting stuck on like a electrical power area.
Yeah, and they use the paddle to smack to get them to come by. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yep,
and then three was SeaWorld.
3 is terrible. It's the one you should always skip. Jaws 3D is terrible. If you're gonna watch Jaws, you go Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 4.
Jaws 4 was
Jaws
Bahamas,
3 did
right?
Not exist.
Was Jaws 4 the one where they're in the Bahamas?
Jaws 4 is in the Bahamas.
Okay, so 3 was the one where they were in SeaWorld. I think it was like Florida SeaWorld or something like that, right?
Yeah. It's like, but it's not even like anybody from the original cast. Like, it's a whole new cast. Nobody from the original Jaws movies are in it. It literally has nothing to do with the other Jaws movies. Like, so it's labeled Jaws just to catch in on the name Jaws.
Yeah.
And
so
it's literally a cash grab.
Those sequels, I would say Jaws 2 held up for the franchise, but
I agree.
Bahamas, horrible. SeaWorld, horrible. Like, they were just bad movies. They were poorly made. Like, and that's the other thing. They never really explain how the fuck is there another shark after it got blown up already.
Right.
Like, where does this other ginormous shark come from?
The issue why Jaws 4 is so bad is because they make it to where I think it is called Jaws' Revenge. They make it where the shark has a vendetta against the Brody family.
Yeah.
Like, in the first 15, 20 minutes, he kills Brody's youngest son. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, now we're making these sharks, have GPS on and fucking can find you.
So it is Jaws. There's Jaws, Jaws 2, Jaws 3D, Jaws Revenge. Frostbite just looked it up for me.
Yeah. Horrible.
But yeah, and then like when he's in the Bahamas, he kills God, what's the one dude's name? Matt. He kills Matt Hooper, right?
Yeah.
Because Hooper's in that movie.
Hooper. Yeah.
There is a Jaws 5.
Same question asked about Jason and Michael. Yeah, the Jason and Michael series was too long too.
Apparently, Jaws 5 is coming in 2022.
Are you serious?
Apparently, I don't know if I believe that.
Jaws 5 in 2022.
I mean, that's this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna watch it, but
yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I don't think it's gonna be good, but we'll see.
Yeah, but go ahead.
If it is good though, I don't mind it reviving the series, but I doubt it.
But here's the thing: is when you have a series revived like that, it's
hard to revive a series when the shark's been killed 4 different times already.
Well then, like once you get past like a 4th movie or a 5th movie, it's like, are you doing too much? I mean, my brother said it perfect. Look at the Fast and the Furious franchise. Those movies were like a culture for us when I was growing up. Like everybody had cool cars. Like I had a Mitsubishi Eclipse that I would drive with a big ass muffler on it. Like you could hear me from a mile away.
You won't talk about the cool car that I had.
Like my friends had Hondas and stuff, like Del Sols and all that stuff. And we would meet and we would like go and watch these movies. Like I remember when that franchise got rebooted with Fast and Furious, like we all drove our cool cars to the fucking movie theaters and all like parked and went in to go watch this movie, and I was like, great, I'm like, this movie was really really good. And then they came out with 5, and then they came out with 6, and then they came out with 7, and I think they're on like number 11 right now or whatever the fuck they're on. But they just made
I have no idea what number they're on actually.
They just made the movie, like they made that franchise go too far. Like, and like Freddie in chat said, the Jason and Michael franchise. Those franchises went way too long. Chucky went way too long. Like, they did the Chucky reboot, which I watched an episode of, and it was fairly decent. But, no, Freddie, you can ask about any other franchises if you'd like.
Yeah, if anybody in chat has any questions, feel free to ask about anything.
I think it's kind of turning into just like a movie podcast, but
yeah, let's start out as Jaws, but now it's turning into just a movie podcast, like our favorite movies.
That's the thing about Jaws is that
Staffan says he's pretty sure it's nine Fast and Furious movies right now.
9 Fast and Furious. 9. That franchise died to me when The Rock like broke his cast apart and was like, "Daddy has to go to work," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch these movies anymore."
I don't think I've watched that one.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson like killed.
What
Fast
movie
and
was
Furious.
that in?
I think it was like number 6.
You think Dwayne The Rock Johnson killed the series? I don't think it was Dwayne. I think it was just the overall direction they decided to take the movies. I like Dwayne. I think he's done great in other movies.
Fuck no, I hate that man. He needs to stay wrestling. There's
no.
There was literally a 1.5 year time frame when every movie that came out was him and Kevin Hart, and I was like, I'm tired of watching this man play the Tooth Fairy, and I'm tired of watching him play a fat guy. Like I'm done with Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Like I'm tired of him.
I get that.
Tired of him. Oh, okay.
Have you watched...
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna. So speaking of wrestlers in movies, did you watch Suicide Squad? Did you watch Peacemaker?
No, I'm not.
Need to.
I'm not a big DC guy, but
that's fine.
If you recommend Suicide
I recommend
Squad,
it. Suicide Squad was probably one of the best movies of last year.
Okay, so I got 2 in chat here. Okay, so we'll talk about this one first. Do I think Top Gun needed a sequel? Now, here's something. So Top Gun is like very near and dear to my heart because I was...
Time out. Is Top Gun getting a series? Because we've been talking about Top Gun now for the last 3 to 4 years. At this point, I think it's just a hoax. We're not really getting a Top Gun movie.
I thought it came out already.
Did it come out?
Let me see.
If it came out, that's awesome. But for the longest time,
it's coming out. It's coming out this year.
So it's coming out this year. So it's not come out?
No, Top Gun is coming out this year.
Yes, there's trailers for the movie, but I don't know if it came out yet. Okay. Davin says the trailers, but he's not sure if it's come out yet.
Let me see.
It hasn't come out yet. Okay, so Dom Nom says it's not come out yet. Okay, thanks, Dom. So again, I'll go back to what I said. Is it coming out? Because they've been talking about this for 3 to 5 years now. I remember being a security guard, and everybody was like, "Oh, hype! Oh, cool, Top Gun!" And then it's just like, man, that's been a minute now. Like, I know we had a pandemic. I completely understand that.
Yeah, Freddie said it's been coming out since 2020, February 2020.
But it's like...
So, Top Gun, since it was filmed here in San Diego, I got to go to a lot of the filming locations with my karate group when I was younger. And it was cool, and I got to watch the Blue Angels fly, and it was super, super cool. So then I watched the movie after that, and I was like, this is a really fucking good movie. I don't think it needs a sequel, but it's Tom Cruise,
He's gonna do what he wants to do anyway.
How many fucking Mission Impossibles have we watched and they've kind of held up? Like, that is one franchise that I think you've never watched. Mission Impossible?
I've never watched Mission Impossible, but I've heard it's a good series. Like you said, it holds up. I've not got into it. Dom says, "Show your feet, please don't."
My feet? You don't want to see my feet.
but Dom says it, so I had to say it.
When it comes to like movies like that, like Mission Impossible and like Transporter, 007, like those movies are good in a sense, but if you really think about it, it's like you're literally doing the same movie over and over and over and over again, and that's why they just need to stop. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, stop making these movies about the same thing over and over again.
So we talked about that, but there's actually only 10 types of movies you can make. Like, ever. Like, there's only 10 stories you can tell in movies, cinema. If you think about it, out of those 10,
you're still going to watch it, 10. Right, Freddie?
They're always the same.
So what are they? Let's hear them.
Okay, so you have your hero story.
Yep.
You have a heist. You have your Western. You have your musical. You have an adventure. Hang on. Yeah, I had the list and I lost it.
Yeah, but I mean, even with having
there's only 10 stories you can tell in cinema history, though.
Yeah, but do they have to be the same? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's movies that do a really, really fucking good job at, like I said, Donnie Darko is my favorite movie of all time. And I have never in my life ever seen a movie that replicates that movie, or that I'm like, wow, this is kind of similar to this movie. But with other movies, like Transporter and Mission Impossible, for example, or like what's that movie where he's like, I know you have my daughter, and I will find you and I'll kill you. What's that movie called?
I don't know. I've not watched Donnie Darko.
Dude, you need to watch it. Like, I will watch Suicide Squad. Here's the homework.
Okay.
I'll watch Suicide Squad. You watch Donnie Darko. It's on YouTube for free.
It's on YouTube for free? Okay,
Taken.
I'll watch it.
Taken, yeah. Taken, although a good movie, it's the same. Like, we're watching the same movies over and over again, man. That's why I'm not a big movie person anymore. Like, I don't go to the movies to watch movies. I watched and then like these reboots, right? We were talking about reboots.
Yeah.
These live action reboots, bro. Aladdin was fucking horrible. I hated it.
Really? I've heard people like it.
I hated it. You know, but
now, did you hate it because Will Smith was Genie? Because I've heard some people complain about that, and I thought he did fine.
I was happy. I was like, if there's anybody in this world, here's the transition, by the way. If there's
hang on,
go ahead.
Dom says, "What if they rebooted?" Now, hear me out. The Fifth Element. I'd be fine with it.
I don't even think I've seen that movie.
It's a good movie.
Is it an alien movie?
More of a futuristic type movie. It's got Bruce Willis in it. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm fine with The Fifth Element getting a reboot. I think it needs it. If it just for the fact that it's a movie that I feel like is really good. Great movie, great cast. But it's old. And sometimes old movies need to be rebooted. There are movies that don't, and there's movies that don't.
Well, okay, yeah. So speaking of old, real quick, and then I'll go back to the Aladdin thing. But like War of the Worlds, I don't think that movie should have been remade.
Really?
And here's why. Hear me out. Because you know, like the background story of War of the Worlds, right? So the story, who was it? George Orwell? Was that who wrote it? Let me see.
Dom says he hasn't seen The Fifth Element. I'm out. I've seen it though, Dom. It's fine. Stick around.
Who the fuck? H.G. Wells. That's who it was. H.G. Wells.
Okay.
So H.G. Wells told this story. I think it was in like the 70s or 80s, and he told it over the radio, and it was like a ongoing thing. Like people,
I remember this now. Okay,
people would tune in and listen to the story of War of the Worlds, and like and people fucking loved it. And then they made the movie.
Some people thought it was real.
Yeah,
like,
and then
people were actually genuinely scared at that time. I remember hearing about this now.
Then they made the movie, and I watched the movie, and I didn't think it was a good movie at all. I thought the movie was mediocre at best.
The remake or the original?
The remake with Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was a good movie. Like, I think, like, the way that they had the big aliens coming around, like, zapping everybody, like, I thought it was very, what was that movie? The Martian movie? What was it?
Martian movie.
Attack on Mars? Was that what it was?
Oh, you know what? I think that's right. Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks.
Which is
the silly one?
Which is a terrible movie, but a great movie to watch.
It's fucking hilarious. It's
fucking hilarious. The cast in that movie make that movie.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where you have that that consensus sometimes is that, like, the cast makes the movie, right? And that's what I was talking about with Aladdin. I was like, if there's anybody that can do Robin Williams' part well, it would be Will Smith. And I think he did a good job in the movie. I just think the movie was just bad. And it's hard to make those remakes when we're dead. You know what I mean? Like, the kids that grew up watching those movies, like, don't, like, wait a little bit. We don't want to watch those movies while we're still alive. Like, I have no interest. Like, if they're making a Dumbo remake, I have no interest in watching that.
I think they did make the Dumbo remake already, unless they're doing it again.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I have no interest.
I've heard that movie's terrible.
Yeah,
they got rid of the mouse. So, and I feel like the mouse makes that movie.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and then I think they're gonna make if they made a Bambi remake, who the fuck wants to watch a real life Bambi? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't want to watch a real life Bambi.
Like,
I'm sorry.
But we had, like, the Lion King remake. I didn't like it. Like, it was decent. It was a decent movie, but I just didn't like it. Like, stop making these movies that when we were kids, like, you're remaking them. You know what I mean?
I'm going to disagree with that. Just for the fact that there are movies I'd love to see redone now, just for the fact that our CGI has come a long way, like we talked about earlier. Gremlins is such a great movie.
Do not remake Gremlins, bro.
If they're not going to do a Gremlins 3, then for the love of God, remake the series.
Hell no. Hell no. No, that movie holds up so, like, it is does. Good it's how it is. Movie. Do not remake it. Well, like, what? Like, why? Like, bro.
A lot of the times, the reason I want movies remade is because I want these stories to continue being told after we're gone.
Yeah, so so do you want it to be remade, or do you want there just to be a sequel? Or, like, not a sequel, but like
they've been back and forth with Gremlins so many times now. If they're going to make a series, if they're going to make a movie, if it's going to be a reboot, if it's going to be a continuation. At this point, I don't care which one it is. Just do something with the property.
Here's kind of why I don't like remakes, right? Because the storyline winds up changing. And I think Gremlins is a fucking great movie, and I don't think anything in that story should change in 1 or 2. I think they're great movies. I remember, like, wanting to get a Furby because I was like, maybe.
Yeah, you wanted a Furby because they had Gremlin versions of Furbies.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe if I pour some water on this, it'll turn into.
Maybe I'll get multiple more Furbies.
But
it never worked though.
Yeah,
the only Furbies I had were the McDonald's ones that you got from the.
The Happy Meals.
I couldn't afford an actual Furby. I had to get the McDonald's knockoff ones.
But if there's movies and series that I don't think that should be remade. Like Gremlins is one of them. Jaws, I think, is another one. Jurassic Park should never be remade.
Have you watched Critters?
No.
Okay.
No, but I know what movie you're talking about. Like the Harry Potter series should never be remade. Star Wars should never be remade. Like those. Here's another one where I think with their idea, with Lucas's idea and Spielberg's idea of we're gonna make these 3 movies first because we don't have the tools that we need to make in order to show what we want to make in the the original movies. We're gonna make these movies first to start the story and put it out like this. The ending comes out first, and then we'll come out with the rest. Like, I think that was such a smart idea.
Ending.
Yeah, the ending. Yeah, the fact that they did a whole other trilogy on that.
So when we talk about remaking, I was talking about just the sequels. I wasn't talking about the original 3.
Oh, okay.
The original 3 are great. I love those. But if we were going to remake anything, if we could remake the sequels, I'm okay with it. If George Lucas came out and said, I recently rebought the Star Wars franchise, the episodes 7 through 9 don't count, we're going to completely redo those movies, I'm like, let's do it. I'm on board.
Okay, so here's the thing: is if he said that I'm going to make these movies, I'm going to remake these movies, but we're going to make them like scene by scene and frame by frame, like everything's going to be the same, but just better quality, I'd be cool with that.
So better quality, I think it needs better storytelling, because a lot of the pacing in a lot of these movies were bad. Outside The Force Awakens, which is out of the 3, I think, of the better of the trilogy, of the sequel series. We really shouldn't go into Star Wars, because I can go all day into Star Wars.
I love Star Wars, bro.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I can go all day into it. So
yeah, okay. So just to kind of sprinkle on that, like when they came out with Mandalorian, and then I found out that they were gonna come out with Book of Boba Fett. Like at the end of Mandalorian, sorry for the spoilers, guys, if you guys haven't watched Mandalorian, but at the end of the Mandalorian, after like the post-credit scene when they showed that they were going to release Book of Boba Fett, I was originally very excited for it. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Like, what are they doing? Like, they're kind of just going on a tangent now. And like, Disney's like, oh, give me Star Wars. And then they're like, we're just going to come out with all these fucking side stories. But after watching Book of Boba Fett, I would say it was decent. They kind of hung on to the fact that Mandalorian did so well and added that, but the fact that they're coming out with Kenobi's story and the fact that they're coming out with Ahsoka's story is like very exciting for me, because if you don't know about the cartoons or the comics, you really have no idea who Ahsoka even is.
Yeah, Ahsoka, I don't care what anybody says, Ahsoka is one of the greatest characters in Star Wars universe.
And I'm hoping, even though they showed it in the cartoons, like I'm really hoping that they touch on her, like her time as a Padawan with Anakin, and show like how she ended up by herself, show why she has white lightsabers. Like I really, 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 really hope that they touch on that a lot. But I don't know, like, I really don't know what they're going to do with Obi-Wan's story. Like I know that they're going to show the time frame in between, after Order 66 to when he was with Luke. But, like, are they going to... Because Boba Fett and Mandalorian are on the same timeline. So how are they going to add that story? Like, we're not going to see old Ben... You know what I mean? Like, we're just going to...
Yeah, we're not going to see Kenobi in the Star Wars series or in the Book of Boba or Mandalorian. But I think what we'll see through Kenobi is we're just going to see that continuation. And a lot of it is people love Ewan McGregor. I love Ewan McGregor. Great guy. And as much as I like him, I don't think... I might get some flack for this. I don't think he made Obi-Wan Obi-Wan. I think the cartoon animated Obi-Wan made Obi-Wan.
That's interesting.
I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. He's a great choice, the best choice. But I feel like a lot of my favorite scenes with Obi-Wan came from the animated series.
And see, I didn't watch too much of the animated series. Like I know enough for like canon stories, but yeah, I didn't watch it enough. I just animated for some reason. It's
not for everybody.
They're just not like okay. So let me just touch on chat real quick. So. Freddie says he's never watched Star Wars or Star Trek. I've seen both. Not all of them. Like Star Trek, my mom used to be into Star Trek, and my mom used to watch Battlestar Galactica.
That's another one that people really like.
So, like, I kind of got into that, but Star Wars just always held my interest. They need to remake a Never-Ending Story, which I don't know if I agree with you on that one. Never-Ending Story is a good...
Never-Ending Story remake? I don't know.
And when did I become such a fucking nerd? Are you serious? Do you not
We've all been nerds.
Do you not see, like, Pokemon, Apex Legends, Star Wars? Like, come on, man. I've been a nerd forever.
Oh, that is a Wraith down there, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. But as far as, like I said, animated series, so my friends are, like, super, super big into anime. And I know you're an anime guy, too.
Love anime.
So they have been, like... I've always had my friends like shooting me animes that I should watch, and I'll like watch the first one or two episodes, and then I'm like, I just cannot do this. Like, it is something.
I'm gonna ask it.
You said the pacing, right? Like you said, the pacing of Star Wars, the original OG films, was slow. And that's what it is about anime. Like, it's just the pacing and the way they talk and the way the scenes play out. Like, a lot of them are very, very similar, and I cannot do it. But,
pacing, I was talking to the sequels, not the originals, by the way.
Oh.
The pacing in the sequels, I think, are terrible.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad for misunderstanding.
Continue.
I found a anime that I like.
Okay.
And and the only reason I like it, and I'll say this, is because of the storyline. And my boy was like, yo, you like this, you like this, you like this. This movie or this anime has it, and you need to watch it. So I kind of went into it with like, fuck, it's another anime. But I was like, you know what, maybe I'll enjoy it. Record of Ragnarok.
That's not one I've not watched it, and I've heard it's good.
Bro, it's fucking sick. And
okay.
The episodes are short, and it's not a long series. It's only like probably 8 to 10 episodes, and I'm on episode 5.
With that.
But
most anime is about 10 episodes anyway, your first season or so.
It's fucking good, dude. Like I really enjoy it. And the dubbing is not bad.
Have you watched Arcane yet?
No.
You know, you knew I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I know.
It's on Netflix.
I gotta finish Record of Ragnarok first, and once I finish it, then I'll watch Arcane.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do?
I'll watch it after. You have my word. I'll watch it as long as
I will watch Record of Ragnarok. You watch Arcane.
All right, and I'll watch Suicide Squad, and you watch Johnny Darko.
I will watch Johnny Darko. You watch Suicide Squad. And then we'll come back to this. We'll do podcast on those specific shows and or movies, and we'll kind of go from there.
Is Arcane long?
It's 10 episodes. Each episode though I think is like 40-some minutes though. I will say that.
Okay.
Now it's League of Legends, but it has hardly anything to do with the overall show.
Okay.
Watched either one, but I've been watching JoJo. Like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I've heard is good. I haven't watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've heard that one's good though. I'll probably watch that one eventually.
Only anime I'll watch is One Punch Man.
When you watch Arcane, watch all the way. You got to watch all the way to at least to episode 3. If you're not hooked by episode 3, because there's a thing that happens at the end of episode 3 that I feel like you're gonna be like, oh shit.
Okay. Yeah. I typically try and.
And then there's a time jump. So. But go ahead.
No, I'll watch it. I like to give it like 2-3 episodes, and episode length doesn't bother me because I was a big Top Boy fan. Top Boy is a Netflix show that I fucking love, and the new series came out, and I watched all 8-hour-long episodes the night that it came out. So when it's called Top Boy. So when I'm committed,
Top Boy?
Yeah, when I'm committed to a show, like I have no issue sitting down and watching all of it. I'll skip a night of streaming to binge a show.
I've done that before. I don't like to admit it, but there have been times like, man, I'm really into this show.
So going back to,
I'm not.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm gonna watch this. That's all I was gonna say.
So going back to our original topic.
Yeah, Jaws.
I think we talked about this before in another video call or while we were on stream playing a video game or something like that. But
probably.
I think we both agree about our favorite scene in the movie.
Yes, let's talk about our favorite scenes. And I think we both have the favorite scene. The best scene in Jaws is when they're on the boat and they're talking about showing their scars.
Yes.
It's so good because they tell such amazing stories. You can tell they get into it. You can tell that the actors are really feeling it. They play so well off each other too. It's just a great scene.
Yeah, well, I think the part that I liked about it, because I'm a fucking overthinker and I put myself in people's situations all the time.
No, I do that all the time with certain movies.
But
Spider-Man No Way Home is a great example, but I won't spoil anything, so go ahead.
The fact that the fact that you have these 3 characters who you can tell there's tension between all of them throughout, yes, up until that point in the movie, right? You can tell that like when Hooper and Brody meet each other, they're kind of just like, you know, Hooper is just there, just be like, okay, I'm just here to help you guys, and these guys, look at what you guys have done, and you guys are creating all this idiocy, and you have people going out and they're gonna fucking kill each other and they're gonna kill themselves, and you know, you have Brody who's just like, he's from this small fucking town.
He wants to protect his beach.
Yeah, and he's never really had issues like this before. Like his life as a police chief has just been fucking easy, right? And then you have this fucking outcast who's a dickhead, and everybody knows he's a fucking dickhead. All come together and they're just like having drinks and enjoying each other and telling stories, and it's very like soft spoken in the beginning of it, and then it gets to like the laughter, and then you realize that, you know, two of the characters actually have ties within each other because they know each other's story. And after that, it's just like you can see the dynamic between the three of them. Like he's like, you know, hook those barrels up, blah 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 blah, and they're kind of like working in sync after that. And that was like the turning point of the movie, and that's one reason that it makes it so good. But like I said, the humor and the storytelling and the dynamic between the three characters, like you said, it just it's such a good scene, dude. It's such a fucking good scene.
I mean, and honestly, naming the boat the Orca was just such an appropriate name for going after a great white.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like those little things people don't really think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's stuff that you and I would look into.
Yeah, for sure, like 100%.
I can go into a movie and I can look at something small in the background, and I've been known to do this in like a bunch of. You could ask Frost Bunny. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, that's for that, and they're like, what? Like, well, yeah, it's this that's connected to this, connected to that, and
well, that's the other thing, right? Is like I'm the same way. I'll look at a scene and I'm like, wow, look how they put this scene together. And like how it transferred from the last scene, and the scene is like the imagery is really showing how the character is feeling right now, or what's about to happen. Like I don't know if a lot of people know this, but in Signs, the movie Signs, which is that movie scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. You know, they do foreshadowing in that movie the whole way through with the little girl loving water, and there's water glasses in every scene of the house. Like if you go back and watch Signs, you'll notice it because I'm saying it now. But there's water cups everywhere in the house all the time, and then it just so happens to turn out that water is the thing that kills the aliens at the end of the movie. Like that kind of and I took a class on imagery and filmmaking, so that's kind of, I guess, why I look at shit like that. But yeah, man,
Stabbin says that's such a good movie. Mice, that's what's going on. Mighty, we're doing our first ever podcast here. I'm joined with my buddy Save. We're talking about originally supposed to be Jaws, but we've been going off on tangents about anime and other movies such as Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Signs. It's just like. It's our first podcast. It's not going to be perfect, but it's our podcast.
But I mean, I think kind of sticking on the subject of like movies and remakes and sequels is still good. So Rico says that his favorite scene in Jaws is the chalkboard scene.
That's a good scene too.
But is it the only thing that makes it memorable? Like the fact that he scratches his.
I like the constant arguing. Like people are trying to figure out what to do. And people are like, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and he's just like. Shut the fuck up. Let me talk for a minute.
Oh, okay. Here's a good scene. It's the Brody household, right? They're sitting and gonna have dinner. And Hooper's.
Is this the kid scene?
The kid scene.
Yes,
bro.
It's so good.
That scene is so good, and it just shows like how in love this kid is with his dad, and how in love the dad is with his kid, and it's cool from two different perspectives, right? Like, you know, the Chief Brody is like stressing about how this is gonna happen. His hands are in his face, and
he's freaking out.
And then the kid starts like mimicking him and doing the same things that he's doing, and they get to the funny part that you know,
yeah.
But you also
stuff that you can see doing with your own kids.
Yeah, but you also have Hooper there, right? So it like gives him a sense of like. This is what this guy's going through at this time. Like he's got, not only does he have the stress of life outside of here and what's going on with this shark, but you've got like kids at home and family that you really care about, and this is the man that you are. You know what I mean? Like I really like that scene a lot. Like it's
a good scene.
It's a good fucking scene.
What are you doing today, Mighty? You got anything going on with you, man?
The eeriness. I don't think the chalkboard scene is that eerie. I mean, you kind of get.
I don't think it's eerie.
You get kind of
I just think it's a good scene.
Yeah.
Another and then we talked about it. When they bring in the shark that they think is the shark, and they got it hooked up, and Hooper's kind of going around examining it. He's doing the measuring the maw. It's like that's a tiger shark, and they don't understand what a tiger shark is.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like, guys, come on, he's a shark expert. Believe this dude. But if they did, then they wouldn't have the plot that we could get, so it's fine.
No, but there's there's an addition to that scene too that's a good scene is when the little boy's mom talks to Brody, and she's like,
"Is this where she slaps him?"
She slaps him, and she's like,
"Yeah,
you knew there was a shark, and you didn't tell anybody," and then slaps the shit out of him. Like,
okay,
that's like a crumbling part on Brody's side. You know what I mean? He's like, "Fuck, she doesn't know that I tried to close the beaches. She doesn't know that I didn't want anybody
the
out
mayor
there."
is the villain of this movie.
Yeah, fuck
I
the shark,
it's the mayor.
Right? Yeah, he's the mayor.
But it's not the shark that's at fault. It's the fucking mayor.
Yeah.
Which you had that in. God, I hate to bring this movie into this one. Piranha.
I've never seen that movie. I think my brother has.
Missing. It's just boobs.
Oh,
it's just
I gotta watch
fighting fish and boobs. But the mayor is the main reason why nothing closes. He doesn't want to shut anything down, and people are getting ripped apart. You know, I mean, it's a piranha, and it's movies.
Yeah,
but
I gotta watch that then. If there's a lot of
piranhas isn't bad. It's not great.
You know, did you know that they made a Jaws game?
I did know they made a Jaws game. They've actually made a few. Hang on a minute.
Well, the only Jaws game that I knew of was the one that was on Nintendo, the OG Nintendo.
Yeah, just the Nintendo one. But there's been like PC remakes and stuff like that.
Oh,
like
has there?
Plus indie games. You can get an indie game on anything, which I've been enjoying a lot of indie games. So.
Yeah, and I've never played it, but I'm a huge Nintendo fan. And
so before you play it, it is a Jaws game, but it's based on Jaws 4.
Oh, Bahamas bullshit.
So, what the main focus in that game is, you're on a boat, you go around, you collect seashells, then you go back to the shop, you sell your seashells, you upgrade your weapons, and then you kind of swim around. Like Jaws will appear, and it's an old Nintendo game. You get what you get, but when people play this game for the first time, like, this doesn't feel like Jaws at all. You're just going around collecting seashells, and then occasionally you fight a shark. But if you pay attention to the movie, to the movie and to the game, there's so many similarities. Like, this is clearly a Jaws 4 game, but they can't call it Jaws 4 the game.
Yeah,
there's not been a Jaws game, so Jaws.
I'm gonna have to watch it, or I'm gonna have to. Play
They made it on for PS2. They made a Jaws game on PS2.
Because I have a NES, so I probably find a cartridge for like $10 and play it. What was I gonna say? Oh, we were talking about shark movies before. The only shark, and my brother mentioned this earlier, the only shark movie that I could say that I liked was Deep Blue Sea, even though that was a kind of
Deep Blue Sea is a great one. It used to scare Frost Bunny. So
that movie scared the when the shark comes up and bites that dude's arm off, bro.
Yeah.
That holy shit. That
the Samuel L. Jackson scene when he's doing his speech, and you're like, all right, yeah, motivation, and then gone.
Yep, dead. Like that was such a good scene. That's a good movie. You know what I mean? LL Cool J's
Deep Blue
character.
Sea, great movie. Yep, great movie. But that is a shark movie where we talk about this. I don't consider Jaws a shark movie.
Yeah,
it's just a thriller with a shark in it. But yes, Deep Blue Sea is a great shark movie, and just a great movie overall.
Yeah. They'll
sequels
remake that one.
Were terrible.
Oh, did they remake?
They made sequels, and they are absolutely ass.
I didn't know. I'm definitely not watching those. Definitely.
The game was called Jaws Unleashed, and it came out in 2006. So there is a Jaws game for the PS2 that you could try. You might enjoy that one. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the old Nintendo, so try out that one. Might be good for you.
I don't have a PlayStation, but I could probably get a mod on my.
You could get an emulator on your PC. That's what I use.
Man, Deep Blue Sea. That's such a good one. Is there?
It is.
Is there any movies that are coming out that you're looking forward to?
Movies that I'm excited to see this year?
Yeah. Is there?
We'll see.
2022 movies.
Do we have? If the Doctor Strange movie comes out this year, I want to see that. I think it's Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. If that comes out this year, I want to see that.
Oh, did you watch the Adam Project on Netflix?
No, I've not watched the Adam Project. I've heard it's good. I need to watch it.
It's pretty good.
I want to see the new Batman movie too. I know a lot of people have given this movie crap, but like before it came out, but a lot of people since after it's come out have given this movie praise as being one of the better Batman movies ever made, and I can see that. A lot of people are giving Pattinson shit because he's too whiny and stuff, but people don't realize this is year 2 Batman. This is Batman / Bruce Wayne trying to figure out, does he want to be Batman or does he want to be Bruce Wayne? He doesn't realize the fact that he needs to be both. So that is why Robert Pattinson is being the way he is in this movie.
Yeah, and I don't think he's a bad actor.
No, and again, I can go into Batman all day because, again, nerd.
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
No.
And
a lot of people give me flack on that, but I'm not.
I'm definitely gonna give you flack for that one.
I liked the first movie. I don't mind the second one. So I like the beginning parts of Harry Potter, where Harry Potter is being treated like shit by his family. I love the at-home scenes; they're great. And I even like some of the scenes where he's at the school. My favorite movie is the one where Robert Pattinson dies. I don't remember. I think it's Goblet of Fire or Trial of Fire, something like that.
Yeah, Goblet of Fire. So that's funny that you mentioned that film specifically because I'm like a huge Harry Potter nerd, bro. Like I started reading Harry Potter when I was like 10 or 11, and my mom would take me to the Cedric Diggory, yeah. My mom would take me to the midnight releases, and I would wear like a little fucking wizard hat and like wait for the book to come out. I was huge. I still love Harry Potter, but Goblet of Fire was my favorite book, and it's my least favorite movie.
Really? Okay.
There's a lot.
Better as a book, not a good movie.
Yeah, there's a lot that they missed in that. How do you feel about them creating the Buzz Lightyear movie?
I think it's going to be fine. I think people are giving it. I don't think it's getting bad flack because police are bad, which I disagree with altogether. I mean, there are corrupt police officers, but there's also good police officers too, and some of them that I know personally.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope.
It is a slippery slope, so it's hard for me to say. But like, overall, though, I'm fine with the Buzz Lightyear movie. I've seen the Buzz Lightyear animated show when it was on Disney. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I forgot about that show. Holy shit, I forgot that they had that show. What do you? Since you're a superhero guy, how do you think the new Black Panther movie is gonna be, and how are they gonna do it? Because it's supposed to come out this year.
Then I'm looking forward to that. If that was a movie to be looking forward to this year, it's gonna be Black Panther 2. I'm a big fan of Black Panther.
But what are they gonna? What are they gonna do? You know what I mean?
They have to. So either two things: they're either gonna have to kill him off screen, which is very sad to do, or they're gonna have to use footage that they had from previous movies and take him out in that way. Which they did that in Star Wars, and the sequels with Leia, and it was terrible.
Does Killmonger come back though?
I don't know. In the comics, yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, so if for things, okay, the MCU and the comics are completely different. Like there are stories from the comics that they're taking, but the thing with Marvel is they are literally killing off characters that should not be killed off. Like the Ultron being killed in Avengers 2, horrible decision. Ultron is such an amazing villain to be killed off in the second Avengers.
Well, yeah,
but I get how
you
gotta
far,
take out somebody.
Yeah, how far into what story? Because like, if you really want to follow storyline with Black Panther, I mean, he winds up marrying Storm, doesn't he?
Yes, and most of the iterations, yes, he marries Storm.
And you can't, you can't bring that in the movies because Sony doesn't own X-Men, right, or something like that.
So they're acquiring more assets of it, and I think they do own X-Men now, actually, because there's talk about they're redoing their own X-Men series. Which they still need to get Patrick Stewart. He's the best choice for that character. I don't care what anybody says. Yo, I'm getting a raid. That's interesting. Hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders.
I'm being raided by Nicole, actually.
Nicole!
Yeah. Rated the party of 7. What's up? Let's go. MS-135 raid. What's up? What's up, Moonlight? What's going on? I'm doing a podcast with my buddy Save here. We're talking about... okay. The focus is Jaws, but we've been going off on tangents about every other movie that's ever been made.
Yeah, seriously.
So, it's been a fun... This is my first ever podcast series. This has been kind of fun. We've just been kind of hanging out. And then over on the right side is just some play... playthrough of me playing the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with some guys put it the other day. That's what podcasts do. Okay, so I guess we're doing the right thing then if we're going off on tangents like all other podcasts do. Thanks, Mighty. I appreciate it. Before we continue on, since I was right, I'm going to get into this. Nicole, what did you play? How was your stream? And thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate it.
So I know Killmonger comes back in the comics. And
yes, Killmonger does come back. But again, so even the guy that Killmonger kills, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, Claw.
Claw.
Yep.
He's back too. So it's like, again, the MCU and the comics, great, but they are different.
Wait, is he back though, or is the timeline kind of?
It all depends what they do from here. So,
yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. That's a very interesting, like what they're doing with that, because I haven't seen No Way Home yet.
Plus, we got the multiverse thing going on now too. We started that in Spider-Man. We got the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and then we got Ant-Man and the Quantum Realm, which is a whole other thing. So we actually have 3 movies centered around the multiverse theory, not counting Endgame. And then there's Loki. The Loki series is so good. If you haven't watched Loki, go watch Loki. It's great.
Because they have Tom Cruise playing Iron Man in Doctor Strange, right?
Probably. Yeah. I could see that. I've not really looked into a whole lot of spoilers for the movie yet. So, or like the cast or anything. Stream went great, and I played Killing Floor 2. Nice. She's really good at that game. I don't know if you've watched her play Killing Floor 2, but she knows what she's doing when it comes to that game.
No, I think I've stopped by her. She was playing something else when I've stopped by her stream before.
I'm gonna get a shout out for MS really quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Marvel. I like the Marvel movies. It's just there's a lot. There's a lot with the multiverse going on, and it's hard for people to follow, I think.
It is. It's a hard. So the movies do great about telling the stories, and if you pay attention to certain scenes, you can see. But remember, I said before, you can see certain things in the background of certain scenes if you pay attention.
Yeah. I
do it a lot in Marvel movies because, me being the nerd that I am, I'll look at them like, okay, well, I know what that's going to come to do, and when you Endgame. When you see the hammer start to fly up or move up like it does, like somebody like me, I know who's doing that. That's going to be amazing. And sure enough, it looks badass when Captain America and Thor and Iron Man are just taking on Thanos out there. It's a great scene.
That was a great scene. And it's funny that you mentioned that scene because I've seen like a clip on YouTube or TikTok or something of like people's reactions in movie theaters on that scene.
Yes, I love that. That's really cool. Yeah, I love people that do reactions.
Yeah, it was really awesome. That was a great scene, but great reaction. Like I've never been in a movie where I've seen that type of reaction before. Ever. Actually, I might be lying.
I've seen some reactions, but it depends on like the movie. And a lot of them have been Marvel. When they do certain things in Marvels and the Marvel community, Marvel's got an interesting community. It's not as toxic as DC is, but
I did see that reaction from Harry Potter in a Harry Potter movie.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen all the Harry Potter movies?
I think I have seen all the Harry Potter movies, but there's scenes from Harry Potter, but I don't remember happening. Like, spoilers, Dobby dies, right?
Dobby does die. Yeah, I cried.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
but I remember seeing that movie.
Yeah, he dies. So, it's really fucking sad.
Yeah, like I know that's a big scene. Like I don't remember watching that, and I'm pretty sure I've seen all the movies. So I don't know.
I'd go back.
There's what 7 or 8 movies?
8 of them, yeah.
8 of them, because the 7th one had to get put in part 2, which I don't really care for that either. But that's a whole other thing.
There's a lot there. See, and that's the thing that pissed me off about Harry Potter is that Goblet of Fire is the biggest book. Like it's the thickest book. A lot of shit happens.
Book. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of shit happens in that book. And they were cool enough to put part 7 into 2 parts, but they didn't do that for number 4.
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the sequels coming out for that then?
So I have not watched them yet.
I don't think it's come out yet. Or do you mean like the trailer?
No. You're talking about the new one that's about to come out, right?
Yeah, the Harry Potter sequel thing.
Yeah. So one of them already came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Fantastic Beast. I think 2 of them came out already.
That's a prequel, not a sequel.
Wait,
Fantastic Beasts is a prequel. I'm talking about sequels.
So what sequel is coming out? Because I haven't heard about.
They're doing the continuation of the Harry Potter series. Like it's Harry and his kids and stuff like that.
Oh, you're talking about the Cursed Child.
Yeah, that thing.
So there was a Broadway show that they did on that already. And
okay.
I'm cool with it as long as J.K. Rowling is doing the writing for it. Like as long as
a consistent writer.
Yeah, as long as it's a rendition of what she's put out, then I'm cool.
Yeah, says the Cursed Child.
Yeah, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with that. You know, because when it comes to like lore, once you switch hands, it's very hard to stay consistent.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like that's why.
That's the biggest issue with, I feel like, going back to Star Wars again, the sequels had such a hard time. It had different writers. Now, the reason why we had different writers is understandable, but we didn't need different writers. We could have waited.
Yeah.
There's a trailer for it. Yeah, that's what I was going on. I'm pretty sure that there was a trailer for it. I know I've watched it. I don't remember off the top of my head because, again, I need to give Harry Potter another chance. I think if I sat down and watched all the movies, 1 through 8, I guess, and maybe I could connect certain dots. Like there were scenes in Harry Potter that I love, like when they run into the wall when they're trying to get to the train station, whatever.
Oh yeah,
fucking hilarious.
So
and when they go to Diagon Alley.
Diagon Alley.
I don't know. Diagon Alley. I love that whole area that's all like a magical shopping area, whatever. I love it. Cool.
Yeah, so I don't see anything here that is...
The Disney 3 were terrible. They were terrible.
I don't see anything here that shows that they're coming out with the movie. I know that they are still doing the Broadway show. But if they're going to make a movie out of it, it'll be sick.
I'm pretty sure I've seen where they were doing that, but I'll double check.
Yeah, if you can send it to me. Like, there's a lot of, like, fake trailers that I see on here, but nothing real.
Called The Cursed Child?
Yeah, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Okay, Stavin says he thinks he's seen a scene or a trailer or a teaser. That's what I'm looking for. A Cursed Child.
Yeah, I've seen, like, fan-made ones, but I've never seen one that's actually...
We'll see.
Man, how could you not like Harry Potter? I don't know. Well,
same way I don't think like it's not that I don't like Harry Potter. It's okay, I don't like Harry Potter, and a lot of it is because I don't think I've watched the movies like other people have, and I didn't really read the books. The only book I read was the first or second one. I don't remember, and that was only because I was in. Oh my God, this was old. I was in 3rd grade when my teacher read me one of the books, and that was it. So,
yeah, I was that kid that fucking. As soon as those books came out, I stopped playing Foursquare and I started like sitting on the wall reading the book. I was fucking bro. I might look like a cool, swagged out guy, but I was fucking nerd. Bro.
I think you're a pretty swag guy.
Thanks, bro.
I mean, you're no swag star, but you're pretty swag.
I've always been a nerd, but it's funny because I've always been like a secret nerd. Like people didn't know that I was a nerd when I was actually a nerd.
Let's go back to Jaws.
Yeah, let's do it.
We've not really talked a whole lot of Jaws a whole lot on this podcast. That's fine. I think the chat's enjoyed it. I think my YouTube community will enjoy it. So,
all right,
I will post this on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there were some other things that you wanted to talk about the film.
We've talked about our favorite scenes. We've talked about our opinions on prequel or not a prequel. God, please don't give me a Jaws prequel. I don't even want to know what that would be.
The story of Baby Jaws.
The story of Baby Jaws.
The creation of a killer.
You know, that would be an interesting documentary of them like creating the shark.
Yeah,
I think they've already made one about that.
That was on the film extras.
Okay, was it? Okay,
yeah.
So like, if they did that, I would probably be into that. But do you have any final thoughts? What you want to say with Jaws?
Yes, don't remake the movie, please. That's the number one thing. But no. I mean, just because. I mean, could you consider Jaws a cult classic? I mean, yeah,
I would consider Jaws a cult classic. But I also consider it was a good movie at its time. I feel like being a cult classic means my favorite movie series, Tremors. Tremors was a movie that was slept on. When it first came out, it didn't get as big of a praise as it does now. But Tremors did become a cult classic. And because that cult classic, we have Tremors all the way up to Tremors 7 now. They're not great, but it's Tremors. I'm going to sit down and watch it.
Yeah. Nah, I mean, just don't remake the movie. I think, like I said, it still sits well. It's been a while since I've watched it again, but I'm sure that if I watch it again, like I would just sit there and enjoy every moment of it. And like you said, the cast was great. I mean,
cast is great.
Everybody, even
the story is great.
The storyline is great. The death scenes. I mean, did you ever like see how they did the that first scene where that young lady's getting dragged in the water?
I've not seen how they did it, no.
So what they did was they had like this like corset type thing on her, and they fucking like had strings coming out of it, and they had people like yanking her all the way through the water, and she was like, her ribs and stuff got bruised from it. Because of how hard they were yanking her. Like, but the fact that they did little things like that to make it look so realistic was pretty awesome to me. Actually, okay, cool. Here's the only bad thing I will say about the movie. I do have one bad thing to say about the movie. So,
who's your favorite character in the movie?
I like Hooper the best. I
like Quint. I got to give it to Quint. I love him. I like Brody, but Quint to me is my personal favorite, mainly for the fact that
you can hardly understand what he's saying.
You hardly understand what he's saying. He talks about the USS Indianapolis, which is a great story. I have not watched the Nicolas Cage adaptation of that. I don't know if I will. I want to, but I don't know if I will.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see.
Victoria, thank you for the like.
You were saying.
No, I do. I think that his accent, the fact that you can't really understand what he's saying, the way that he talks is like a good character trait for him. You know what I mean? Like, shark goes in the water. Like, you know, like that. The way he sounds is perfect. I like the way that he sounds. But the only bad thing that I will say about that movie is when Hooper is in the shark cage and they're showing the underwater scenes, and they use like real images of like a shark swimming around. The shark looks completely fucking different than the shark, the animatronic shark that they're actually using. And I get that they had to like show shark footage there to kind of like give you the idea that the shark is swimming around, and they couldn't use the big ass shark that they had. But that would probably be the only bad thing that I would say about that movie.
Okay.
You know, unless you want to like get into like technical shit, like if you shoot one of those gas cans in a shark, it's not gonna fucking make him explode the way that it did. But
still a great scene. It's such a great scene that it's been recreated in so many movies afterwards.
Yeah, I mean that's a good scene, you know. But
smile, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and it's funny because you like the bitch part is like very faint because of how they made that scene.
They made it very subtle.
Yeah. My brother is the one who actually pointed that out to me. After we watched the movie so many times, he was like, he says bitch right there. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. And he was like, yeah, listen to it really clearly. And
it's very faint.
Yeah, I like put my head up to the speaker to just hear him say bitch. Like, yeah, we were kids.
It's one of those subtle things that people don't really, they don't understand, or they don't pay much attention to. Like, you know what he's saying, so you get what he's saying.
Yeah,
it's like, and plus, you know, there's probably been TV versions of it being released without it saying that altogether. So it's just smile, you son of a, or it's like a cut. They cut it out.
Yeah, that's another thing that I didn't think of there. That's another thing that I didn't think of. It could have been just a cut.
Could have been just a cut.
No, but great film overall. Like
yes.
But I disagree with you on the fact that they should remake it.
So, reason why I want to remake is just for the fact that I want to see what they could do with it now. I would prefer the same story. I don't need a bunch of twists or turns that weren't in the original movie. I want to know, like, if you were to redo this movie, I want to see the cast. I want to make sure the cast is right. What worries me about a remake of this movie, how political / woke they would try to make it. And I have that fear in every movie being made right now.
Yeah, man, that's
whole other subject.
Yeah, that's something I'm not big into that. You know, like, do you know who Bo Burnham is?
Bo Burnham?
Oh, okay. So anyway, he's this comedian, and he like makes this kind of joke about how like big named businesses like Pepsi and Frito-Lay, it's like how they just kind of sprinkle on like, oh yeah, we're for this or we're for this, just to kind of stay woke and like be in the culture still. And when movies do that, like it's kind of unnecessary. Like the reason that we go and, okay, I might get backlash for this, but I don't care. Like when Call of Duty did the like Stop Asian Hate, and they did like the LGBT flag and stuff like that. Like, I don't agree with putting that into video games and movies because
you want to escape that stuff when you're playing a game or movie.
Exactly. I'm coming here so that I can get away from the real world.
Yeah,
like
it doesn't mean real life. Let me enjoy shooting somebody in the face.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that the problems that are going on in the real world aren't there. It's just I just want to be able to.
You want to an escape. That's what games are. They are an escape. Let me escape.
And then that's the other thing, right? Is like, if you don't do that, then you make people upset. Like, I know somebody mentioned the Freddy and Jason franchise earlier, and I think the last movie that came out was like Jason.
They only made one movie, didn't they? Oh, you mean like
after?
Yeah.
And I remember like.
I think you're right.
I remember like opening up some news articles or something, and I saw that they were mad. Like, the LGBT community was mad that Jason like killed a gay couple or something like that. And I was like,
Jason kills everybody.
And that was the thing that I was like, you know, you might have people that in that community that are upset that he hasn't killed a gay couple yet. You know, like, why are they excluded from the killing? But when you do kill him, it's like, now you're doing it. But that was my thing. Like, it's a movie. He kills everybody. Like, you can't.
He's a serial killer. Okay, not a serial killer. He's a monster serial killer type thing.
Yeah, but that's just my thing. Like, keep the woke and political shit out of movies. And
I don't want to see that in my movies. I just want my movies to be, if you're gonna have those type of people in the movie, that's fine. I don't have an issue with it, but tell a great story. And I don't need it in reboots, remakes. It's like, if you do a Jaws movie, you need a Hooper, you need a Brody, and you need a Quint. I would prefer him to have his two sons, his wife. That's fine. If they wanted to change like some of the fishermen, that's fine. Like, when they're bringing up the tiger shark.
Yeah.
If you want to change some of those people, that's fine. They're background characters. I give no shits about them. If you want to change the couple that loses the kid, that's fine. But don't change the main protagonists. Keep them the way they are.
And keep the storyline pretty much the same.
Keep the storyline the same. The reason I want would be like, because I want to see what these scenes would look like if they were more gory.
Well, that's the other thing. How would they recreate that gore
scene? They put the shark more in the movie, I would think would be kind of cool. Because you don't see the shark a whole lot. You see the shark very little in the overall Jaws movie, which is why I consider a thriller movie, not a shark movie. But then 47 meters down, you don't really see the shark too often in there either. But
how would you recreate that scene when Quint gets eaten by the shark? You know what I mean? Like,
I just want it bloodier.
I
want it gory. I want him.
It was pretty bloody.
It's pretty bloody. It's pretty gory, and I love. It's a scene that's great. Don't get me wrong. That scene is great. You can tell he looks dead.
Yeah, he's like ragdoll as soon as the shark goes down.
Yeah, he just ragdolls the rest of the way. He dies shortly after that movie is made, by the way. Like Shaw, Stephen Shaw? That's not right. Hang on. Robert Shaw. Robert Shaw actually dies a little after that movie is made, which is very sad. But
yeah, that is really sad, actually.
Yeah. So, and I think that's his actual last cinematic movie that he made was Jaws.
Yeah, but that was like that when I think of remakes, when I think of remaking that type, like that movie, I think to myself, like, how could they make this scene better? Because if you look at the overall of that scene, it's like not only is he dying, but his boat and his pride is going down at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, his boat's going down. His whole life is going down because his whole life is that boat.
Yeah. So how do you recreate that scene without doing it scene for scene?
You could probably keep it. Honestly, at this point, the way you've talked and the way I think about it, how our Hollywood would treat the movie, it would not be done well.
Yeah, they would probably do some
not going to
CGI
want to reboot
bullshit.
any of it. Huh?
They would probably do some CGI bullshit right there, and how do you make that look?
You're right.
Good? You know what I mean? Keep
it the way it is.
That's the scene that when I think of a remake, and I think of like scenes that I would not want to see remade. That's the scene
that you don't want to be recreated.
Right there. Like that's the main.
And honestly, even if they kept the movie and they did the Star Wars original trilogy where they added CGI effects into like the original movies, they add scenes that weren't there, add creatures that weren't in the background. They don't really look that great. CGI, again, it's not what it was then, and what it is now is not going to be what it is 20 years from now. CGI is going to keep changing. So something that looks good now might not look good 20 years from now.
Yeah.
With CGI. That's why I like the whole idea of puppeteering and animatronics. That's why Tremors, for me, the first movie holds up so well, because they're using animatronics. They're using a puppet.
Yeah, I mean, Alien, they did a good job too, right? With
Alien is such a great movie. That's going to be part of our old movies podcast that we're going to do. I think we're going to do that next week after, but...
Yeah, Predator was good too. Like you said,
Predator came out in the 80s.
Those movies where they used they didn't use CGI, and they used actual animatronics or face paint and shit like that.
Yep.
It was really fucking good. I saw some documentary about the Jurassic Park thing recently, and that's what they were saying. It was that's why it looks so good still. And I think they even used some of the animatronics in the newer movies.
Yeah, and I think that's why the new movies look so good as they do. My thing with Jurassic World is the reason why I like those movies still is because they look real.
Yeah.
They make the dinosaurs look good, and they do that in the original movies and the new ones, I feel like. I still have my concerns with the new movie coming out. And if we are getting a Jaws 5, which is what somebody said earlier, if that happens to be the case, I will watch it. I'll give my honest opinion on it. I don't have too high hopes for it, but we'll see. It's not gonna be made by Spielberg, for sure. I'm sure it's not.
Jaws 5. Cruel Jaws, the unofficial Jaws 5 sequel unexplained. I guess it came out in 1995.
Okay, that's not what I was looking at earlier, but a lot of it too is you can post anything on the internet, so you don't know what's true and what's not anymore.
Well, let's look at this one. It says Steven Spielberg is reportedly still determined to prevent a Jaws reboot from happening.
Oh, well, there was a Jaws 5. Holy crap.
Oh, it looks like Steven Spielberg doesn't want it to happen.
Cruel Jaws? Interesting.
One area that Spielberg will not revisit is Jaws.
That's fine. I don't think you need to. There's plenty of other movies that could be remade that could be made into good movies. I still think Critters is a great movie, but I'd like to see it redone. I would like to see Gremlins, if not a reboot, then a continuation of Gremlins 3.
I can agree with that part. Continuation, I'm cool with. Remake, that movie is just so good to me.
Fine. Small Soldiers.
Oh my God. Oh man, yeah. I don't know about a remake on that one, but I'd be okay with the remake of Small Soldiers. Okay. But that movie is really forgot really that good. movie I love that movie. For a second. Oh man, what a great movie and great storyline. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, I can get behind it. I can get behind the Small Soldiers reboot.
We'll talk more about that off stream, and maybe we'll do a Small Soldiers podcast in the future. We'll see.
That was a great movie.
I think we're just gonna end the podcast here, and then
real quick, hold on. After. Wait, real quick.
Yeah. So I was gonna say final thoughts, final stuff you want to add.
Yes, Power Rangers.
The Power Rangers reboot, like the movie.
Yes. Do you think they should have gotten rid of the last one that they did and cut ends on that one, or do you think they should have continued with that last Power Rangers movie that they made?
the most recent Power Rangers movie I enjoyed. I liked that they had, I don't know if you noticed, but Kimberly and Jason David Frank are in some of the scenes in that movie.
Yes.
They were supposed to be in the Krispy Kreme too, like, because that's like the big thing. They got to go to Krispy Kreme, which, that's a plug.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it would have been fine. I don't mind if they continue. They hint at so hard that the Green Ranger's showing up.
Yes.
Which would have been sick.
Bro, I was waiting for it.
Like, that would have been a cool... Like, if they had made one more movie just to introduce the Green Ranger and ended it there, and then maybe do another reboot 10 years later, I've been fine with that, too. So, I liked it. It was fine. I don't have any issues with the Power Rangers movie. I don't know why it got the flack it did. I don't think Rita Repulsa looked right. She should have looked more repulsive, and she should have had the pointy robotic nipples like she does in the original 90s show, because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but
that show is coming to an end, by the way.
Is it finally?
Not Power Rangers, but the show Power Rangers steals from. I don't remember what it's called.
I know you're talking about
that show is ending. So I just remember, I just imagine the guy that creates Power Rangers going, fuck! Because he's had a free ride this entire time, if you think about it.
Yeah, let's just steal content.
That's all he does, but Hollywood's okay with it.
Yeah, but I was pleasantly surprised with how okay I was with that movie. Because, I don't know, suits-wise, they looked weird. I liked...
Ultraman? I don't think that's right.
I liked how Alpha 5 looked in the movie. Like, I was very happy that they did a good job with his character. They did the little I thing, which was a fucking nod, which I liked. But I didn't like that they were showing that Tommy was gonna come so frequently, and they like left it at the end like that. But then then they were like, oh, we're gonna stop production on the next movie, and
we're just gonna go and end it here. The show that Power Rangers is based off of staff, and it's called Super Sentai. That's what the show's called, Super Sentai, and it's a Japan show, Japan or Korean. I'm pretty sure it's Japan. I could be wrong about that. Japanese franchise, Super Sentai. So yeah.
Yeah.
But Super Sentai is ending. So I don't imagine... I mean, they've made the money. They could make their own stories. Will they do that? Who knows? But we'll just wait and see.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. That's my final thoughts. If they redo Power Rangers, that's cool. Don't reboot Jaws. Don't even make a continuation. Just leave Jaws alone. If you're gonna watch the Jaws movies, watch Jaws 2, Jaws 4, skip 3. And then honestly, just watch Jaws, sometimes 2. Just depends how you feel.
Yeah.
You can skip 4 altogether if you want.
Unless you want to see some bad acting in the Bahamas.
Yeah, bad acting in the Bahamas.
With a shark with a vengeance.
A shark with a vengeance. Like I said at the end, basically, Frost Bunny's angry. Okay. Got to figure out why she's angry. I'll figure that one out. Not angry at me, just she's angry in the chat. She's got angry emojis going everywhere. So she went to go get food, so I'm sure it's food related.
Yeah, but I mean, those are my final thoughts. I just, I'm glad that we can agree on most reboots.
What up, homie? What's up, King Zap? I'm getting ready to end stream, Zappers. I'm going to be playing some Yu-Gi-Oh! Here in a little bit, but what's up, buddy? We are getting ready to end our podcast here. We were talking about Jaws and movies and stuff like that. I think, what do you think of the podcast series, Save? Do you like doing this podcast? Do you want to do more of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just the dynamic that you and I have together is fun. I know you
can't make all podcasts, but you definitely want to do more podcasts with me, I assume, right? You want to keep these the series going.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think, with some advice from your chat on maybe how they would want it to be set up. Do they want it to be live like how we done it? Do they want...
2 turds and a mic. Thanks, Tom.
Do they want it to be more of like a, they can go watch it on YouTube and see what we have to say? Or like, and how they kind of want it set up. Do they want like a Q&A type of thing going on? I've been on a couple podcasts before where we do the Q&A type of thing, but then we wind up just going on to a tangent like you and I have today. I've been in podcasts where we're just like, hey, let's just sit down. We haven't talked to each other in a minute. Let's just see where it goes, type of thing. So, I mean, however, the people that watch you would prefer it to go, I'm 100% okay with anything. Because it is the
honestly,
Icebox.
guys,
it is your thing. So
the podcast stuff. This podcast might look different from podcast 2. Podcast 2 could look different from podcast 10. I don't know. At the moment, we're literally just dipping our feet in and just seeing how things go. So if I don't know how many of these we'll do, I want to keep doing more podcasts so they're fun. This is a fun podcast. Like that, we tried to focus on jobs, but we did go off on tangents, and I think a lot of my community did like the tangents that we would go off on. We were everywhere, and it was fine. I didn't mind it.
A lot of things. Yeah, that's funny.
I will be back later, chat. I'm gonna be playing some Yu-Gi-Oh here in a little bit. So if you guys want to see some Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duels, tune in for that. Save. Go ahead and.
If you guys
go check out Save on YouTube and Facebook.
If you guys want to come by, we've been doing a lot of Elden Ring streams. I started dabbling in Grand Theft Auto RP yesterday, so I'm probably going to be... I've been playing that offline, but I'll probably start playing that online. And then, of course, we're grinding Apex Legends Ranked. We're on our way to Diamond before the split, so you'll probably see me playing that tonight. But you guys can check me out on Facebook. You guys can check me out on YouTube. Just type in Save, S-A-V-E, the number 1, E-R, and you'll find me.
Oh, yeah.
Rumble, thank you for the like, brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you, everybody, for watching this, the Icebox podcast, episode 1. We'll be back probably next week or the week after with Icebox 2. I think we're going to have that one with Rebecca and Adewale and possibly Waffle Nugs. It's going to be a big group. So it's going to be interesting trying to get this set up. And I don't know the time frame that we're recording. I'm also doing something special with Rebecca this week on Streamer Diaries, so that's gonna be fun. But I'm gonna end it here, guys. Thank everybody for watching the podcast. Thank everybody for hopping in. Stick around for all our tangents. We will. I don't know what to say. Tell Save to put Fifth Element at the top of his movies to watch list. Okay, so you gotta watch Fifth Element at some point too.
Let's see if it's on Netflix. While you end, let's see.
All right, chat. I'm gonna end it here. Thank you, everybody, for watching the stream. You guys all have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys a little about 6:30 for some Yu-Gi-Oh. So, bye, guys.
Bye, guys.